Are you snacking and not losing weight? Your children may be at risk. Tonight, news at 11. Dun, 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 dun. All right, anyway. The advice here for this quick tips lecture is to stop snacking to lose weight. Hold on a second. You may be in that position where you eat pretty well, but you have a few snacks here and there. Maybe your clients tell you stuff like that, like, hey, how have you been eating? I noticed you're not losing weight like we planned. Like, well, I'm eating really good. And then you're like, okay. You turn your head like this, and they turn their head like this. Like, but I've been having a few snacks. And they do that face, and you're like, uh-huh. And they're like, fuck, he got me. Don't take my snacks away. Please. The only thing I live for. Here's the deal. Some people can lose weight while eating snacks. And for them, and if that's you, fucking rock on. That's a huge win. Amazing. Feel free to turn off the rest of this video unless you like shitty exercise-based comedy. Just said no, whatever. Now, on the other hand, probably way more people have trouble losing weight, and they should at least think about cutting down or cutting out their snacks in the short term. Once they get to whatever stable weight they want, they can absolutely reintroduce snacks, and that's totally fine. But there are at least 4 good reasons why you should consider, if you're not losing weight like you want, to cut out snacks. And if you have clients or friends or family that are snackers, maybe giving them these 4 sort of thoughts can let them make better decisions about things that actually are effective in losing weight. Here's why. First point, snacking is often discordant from tracking. A lot of people who snack, like you can give them an app and say, here's picks all of your meals for you. The RP Diet Coach app does a fine job of that. Eat these meals and you'll be in shape. That's how a lot of meal plan nutrition works, is do this and get that. A lot of people, when they snack, if they have a diet app, they can put their snacks in the app too, and that works. But a lot of people who snack, man, they don't use apps to begin with. They're not putting that in. They do eat their normal, great, healthy food in their 3 or 4 meals a day, but then the snacks add up. They're not tracked. So you get that kind of answer that I alluded to earlier. If you're a personal trainer or a diet coach, you ask your client, like, hey, how's your diet? Like, well, I eat really well. And they'll even describe the shit you don't ever need to fucking hear. Like, for breakfast, as if every fucking breakfast is the same. Like, for breakfast, I have egg whites and oatmeal and cucumber slices. And for lunch, I have 1 turkey sandwich with light mayo, no cheese, and a handful of raspberries. And for dinner, I have fish and blah, blah, blah. We've all fucking heard that dumb bullshit before. First of all, they're fucking lying 9 times out of 10, at least wildly exaggerating. They're picking their best. They never had a single good day like this in their lives. They pick one sample really good 2-week period and composite together 1 breakfast, 2 lunches with minus out some of the M&Ms they ate for 2 of them, and then 1 dinner. And then over the course of 2 weeks, they happen to have 3 good meals. They just cluster those together and tell you that's how they eat every day, right? And they say, look, that's it. That's it. And they're like, I say, shows me here that you're 270 pounds. So this diet you described is 1,900 daily calories. Something doesn't add up. You usually wouldn't phrase it this curtly. But then they say, oh, well, yes, I do some snacking. And you go, how much snacking? That's when point number 1 really hits you in the face. They go, well, and the answer is they don't fucking know, because they never kept track. And why would they? It's just some M&Ms here and there, some nuts here and there. Now, folks, that shit, especially like at the office, adds up like crazy. So if you think you're eating healthy, and the thing is, charitably, a lot of people are in this awful situation, awful Western first world problem here. They're in the situation of being like, I eat well, but I'm fucking losing any weight. And then if you take away their snacking, they go, oh, that was 800 calories a day of snacks. And here's the thing. It's point number 2, easy to add a load of calories in the form of snacks. If you eat anytime you're in the mood, a lot of times you'll be eating often, especially considering that snacks are often very palatable. They're very tasty. It's why they're fucking called snacks. Can you imagine, like, you go to see your boss for a quick chat at her desk, and she's got some snacks lined up that she lets people eat. That's pretty common in the workforce. And it's like slices of cucumber and broccoli. You're like, what the fuck? She's like, snack? You're like, I'm good. But if she has fucking chocolate covered almonds, I'm saying your boy's hitting that up. Like, yep, no mind if I do. Get me a little plate, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Snacks are tasty. They're super easy to eat. And they make you feel nice. It's nice. It's enjoyable. It's actually entertaining. I was always fond of the idea that at colloquia and various conferences and academics and in corporate structures, they'll have refreshments between talks. Like, is the purpose of these 3 Oreo cookies to refresh me? I've never felt refreshed after eating Oreos. I've just felt like, that was delicious, but I feel sick, right? So a lot of times we have to understand that snacks are designed to be super tasty. And because of that, they're oftentimes really high in calories. And because they're super tasty and high in calories, you just kind of keep wanting to eat them. And voila, you get into a situation where you can add up an unbelievable amount of calories. And they've done various studies and estimates of how much people snack. Some people get in over 1,000 calories per day, every day, just through snacks alone. It is not that hard. So if you're thinking, well, I eat really well, but I snack a little, and your personal trainer, your coach is like, snacks. You're like, oh, no, but it's not that much. You're like, oh, how much is it? Like, I don't really know, but I had 5 jars of chocolate covered cashews yesterday. 20,000 calories. Clearly that's exaggeration, but it's so easy to get lots of calories. So point number 2 is like, look, if snacking was like you ate a cucumber every hour and a half, nobody'd give a flying fuck. But that almost never happens. Number 3, snacking, the practice of it can capitalize in not such a good way on emotional eating bubbles. Okay, why do I call them bubbles? Because the desire to eat emotionally is almost never stagnant. Not like you wake up at 10 a.m. or, geez, that's late, pothead. You wake up at 8 a.m. and you're like, oh man, I need to eat food so I can be happier than I am now. I just feel like if I just had some chocolate, I'd feel better. A lot of times that's not necessarily the case. And the same feeling at lunch, same at dinner, and same late at night. A lot of times you're like, your boss will yell at you for a while. Then you get off work and you're like, God damn it, I need something tasty to plug this hole leaking out of my psyche. And then you go to the emotional eating. So essentially, if you don't snack, it's difficult to do emotional eating in a way that maximizes how much weight gain, because precisely when you want to eat the most emotionally after whatever incident happened, be it in your brain or an external reality, you have instant access to snacks if you're a snacker, and you can fill that bubble up with food and get all of the emotional to body weight connection that you didn't want. On the other hand, if you're a regular meal eater and just not a snacker on principle, if you're at your desk, there's no snacks around and you're like, shit, I fucked up that project. If there were Cheetos here, I could make myself feel better, but there aren't. I have dinner at 5 anyway, whatever, fuck it, that's already packed. I'm just going to fix whatever I have to fix, or take a couple walks around the block, come back and get to work. Then that emotional eating bubble goes away. You fix all the stuff you needed. You send off the email to your boss. 5 minutes later, she responds and she's like, hey, you did a great job. You're not fired. You're the fucking man. Get out there this weekend and get fucked up. I don't know if your boss talks to you like that, maybe. But you're like, hey, I did it. The emotional stuff is over. You don't want to eat compensatorily to feel better about yourself anymore. And then it's dinner time. It's 5 p.m. and you hit your macros anyway. So if the snacks are around, it's kind of, it can be a bad deal. Just to have around. Ideally, you would let it pass and eat your meals when it's time. If you're a snacker, that's not going to happen oftentimes. Lastly, and I sort of alluded to this already, but I can actually dig in a little bit more. Snack food is very often junky, which means it is high palatable, it's super tasty, and it's high calories, and it's so super tasty that it makes you want to eat more of itself. I don't know about you guys, but I've never had a single chocolate-covered almond and been like, yes, serendipity. Nonsense. If I get one, I want 18. And if I get 18, I want 36,000. And then the butthole does this. And the doctors say things like, wow, we've never had to sew someone's butthole in 5 different places before. And you go, yeah, what am I paying you guys for? Anyway, I have insurance. And as soon as you're out of the hospital, back to the chocolate covered almonds. Is this a story about me? The world may never know. But in any case, if snacks were ultra healthy, sweet. If you keep ultra-healthy snacks around, this whole snacking problem may be no problem for you at all, or much smaller of a problem. The thing is, a lot of times the snacking situation is fucking bad, and a lot of times it's not just your shit. How many of you guys, by a show of hands, try to look through your TV at you, through your computer screen, through your phone, how many of you guys are in a workplace office situation where fucking Debbie, who I don't know, she stays in shape, bitch, right? She comes in every fucking Thursday. She's like, I made my homemade mini donuts again. Fuck you, Debbie, and your goddamn perfect life, eating these goddamn mini donuts and not being a fat piece of shit like me. Every time you bring them in, I smell the shit, smell unbelievable. I ate 15 of them every time. And well, I'm struggling with my weight. In many situations, snacks are just around. It's a pretty common thing. Like, I'm from Russia originally. We were poor as fuck. We just didn't have this. And I don't know if this is a cultural thing or just a poverty thing. But when I came to America, I noticed that my American friends always had this like pantry area in their home stocked full of snacks that seemingly no one ever ate. They were just available. If you live in a situation like that and you happen to be a snacker and an emotional leader, fuck, man, you know, you get those Gushers. Hey, Scott, the video guy, you remember Gushers?
Oh, dude, they were cool. Best commercials, too.
Amazing commercials. You just want to be the coolest 90s kid in the world eating Gushers. They're the ones with the juice. And if you read the back, they're like liquid candy product, not juice.
My mom would never get those for me because they were like ostensibly not food.
They're not food at all. And mom did a good, you probably 5 IQ points higher and going to die 5 years later than otherwise if you'd have gotten those shits. But in any case, if you have all those snack foods around, if people are at the office bringing them in, it can be tough because almost always the snack food, like, you know, like if there's like a hippie lady who works the desk next to you at your call center or whatever, and you're like, hey, Sharon, what you got for snacks? And she's like, I've got dried quinoa pellets. You're like, oh, sweet. You make up some shit like, oh yeah, my grandma loves those. She's like, do you want some? You're like, no, Sharon, nobody wants your snacks, hippie. Nobody eats that crap. It tastes awful. Like my horse wouldn't eat it. Yes, I have a horse. How do you guys think I get to my Lamborghinis if not on horseback? Huh? But in any case, most of the time snacks are fun. Snacks, peanut M&Ms and all that shit. And that's a really good way to not only add tons of calories, but want to keep adding tons of calories because they're amazing. At the end of the day, all of this may not apply to you. All of this may apply to you only marginally, or all of this may apply to you in a big way. If you're that kind of person that's tried snacking and it seems that you honestly say, man, if I stop snacking, I can fucking eliminate a lot of calories. Try it. If you have problem clients, because I know a lot of you guys are coaches yourselves, which is awesome. If you have problem clients that you know for a fact they're snacking or they tell you they're snacking, but they're like, I think it's fine. Try to get them to reduce or eliminate snacking just during their fat loss phase. And they will oftentimes report unbelievable compliance, unbelievable results and be like, wow, I'm losing a ton of weight. And I've actually had the situation where they're like, how do you think it's happening? I'm like, well, you're not eating out of a fucking horse trough of snacks anymore. That might have something to do with it. So in any case, that's to your advantage. And if you like snacking, well, go away. You're not welcome on our channel. I'm totally kidding. All right answers. Do the one that works for you. See you guys next time.